Hi everybody, welcome back to Quarantine Cooking with Carolyn and video number 2 on side dishes. My previous video, I found I had so much to tell you that it was running way too long. So here is video number 2. And in the first video, I talked a great deal. I showed you how to make tartar sauce. I showed you how to make a cheese sauce. I talked a lot about different ways you could cook potatoes. I showed you in the crock pot. I showed you how to roast them. So today I'm going to show you a simple cold salad. I'm going to show you how to roast some other vegetables. And I'm also going to talk about some convenience products. And I'm going to show you how to do a very simple sauteed mushroom dish on the stove. So why don't we start there? This is going to be a garlic and mushroom dish. To start our mushrooms, put 1 tablespoon of olive oil in a medium pan and just let it warm over medium-high heat. And to that, we're going to add 1 pound of regular old button mushrooms. Now, my button mushrooms were absolutely huge, so I quartered mine, but if yours aren't that big, don't bother with that extra step. And then we are going to let this cook for about 15 minutes, stirring occasionally. Now, one thing about mushrooms. When you're cooking with mushrooms, you don't want to wash them underwater. If you're just using them, if you're slicing them for a salad, that's fine. But if you're using them to cook with, you just want to take a damp paper towel and just wipe them like that. That way they don't absorb all that water. And so we're going to just let this cook for about 15 minutes and we'll come back. Now, roasting vegetables is another great way to serve vegetables that's uber easy. And what I'm doing is I'm just cutting off the little tips off of the end of the green beans here. And we're going to add these to a bowl, just like this. And this is a technique that you can use with lots of vegetables. Tomatoes roast very nice. I showed you in the last video how to do it with potatoes. And the technique is pretty much the same. Some of these I've already done here. But you can do it with asparagus. That is one of my favorites. Thing likes it too. You can do it with, as I said, tomatoes, asparagus, broccoli, cauliflower, eggplant. They all, zucchini. We're probably going to be floating in zucchini pretty soon because August is coming, right? And then to this, once you get those trimmed, you're going to add a little bit of olive oil, and you don't need much, to be honest. I don't even think that was a full tablespoon. And you're just going to toss like this. And then whatever seasonings you want. Salt and pepper, kind of pretty basic, right? Garlic powder for me is pretty much like salt. And I've got some thyme here, so why not? And I'm just going to toss this like that. And I've sprayed the cookie sheet with cooking spray because I always do, right? You guys know me. And then I'm just going to pop this in the oven at 375 for about 10 minutes, 12 minutes, something like that. And what I usually do is I go in with a knife, the point of a knife, and I just check to see how much give they have. See, these don't have much give, right? Once they're cooked, they're going to be softer. Something like broccoli or cauliflower will probably take 15 or 20 minutes. And that's just a guess on my part. Let me go pop these in the oven. The mushrooms have been cooking for about 15 minutes. And I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of garlic to this, which is just a little bit less than this tablespoon. And I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper as well. And then we're going to let this cook for about another minute. Now, you can stop right here once this garlic cooks a little bit. Or, if you want something a little bit more decadent, you can add about 1/4 cup of broth Let the mushrooms soak up that broth, and then top it with a little bit of Gruyere cheese or brie cheese, and then you've got something really, really decadent and yummy. But you can also just stop right here, and this is just perfect the way it is. Look at that. I mean, those are beautiful. Look at that. So let me pour those into a dish. And there you go. Look at that. Easy, easy. So next, I'm going to show you how to make a very simple cold salad. Now, lettuce salad's always great. Here, let me move this so you can see what I'm doing. Lettuce salad is always great, but they can get boring. And right now, we're starting to get the summer produce. So what I'm doing here is I'm just cutting this lengthwise. I've washed the cucumber and I've trimmed off the edges, and I'm just cutting this into small chunks, just like that. Whoops. I really should have brought a different knife down. But this is a nice recipe, and you're going to watch me make it in real time here. I'll show you how easy it is. So in the bowl it goes, and 1 tomato, and this is just enough for like maybe 2 to 3 people. This tomato is pretty ripe, so it may kind of go a little squish. We'll see. Well, it's not too bad, actually. Nice chunks of tomato, like this. And this is a great one because, as I mentioned a moment ago, the summer produce is starting to come. It's still early July, but the zucchini will be prevalent soon. The cucumbers, I think, are starting to come up. I know my tomatoes are starting to come up. Now, if you don't want to cut tomatoes, you can also just use the cherry tomatoes and just, I mean, it's a total step cutter, you know, but who cares, right? So put that together. And then if you want, at this point, there's one of 2 things you can do. You can add some olive oil, some red wine vinegar, salt, pepper, whatever you want there, or a little Paul Newman's balsamic vinaigrette. This thing is, Paul Newman's is just the best, and it can save you so much time on little vegetable salads like this. And you can do this with other kinds of salads, but this is fairly classic right here. And, you know, you can also add a little bit salt, pepper if you want. But there you go, guys. You just watched me make that in real time. Super easy. So there you go. 3 super easy side dishes. Now, if you don't even have that much time, let's talk about convenience products. Let's talk about frozen vegetables. Now, if you talk to a professional chef, some of them are yay, some of them are nay on frozen vegetables. Some of them really just want fresh all the time. You and I have obligations. We have to get dinner on the table. Sometimes we don't have time, and this is a great time saver. I obviously am a yay on this, okay? These are picked at the peak of freshness. They're frozen. There's no preservatives. There's no salt. I prefer these even over canned. You won't find canned vegetables in my cupboard. I much prefer these. And you can add them to all kinds of other dishes. Now, this is my own Stores brand, but if you look at the name brands, the nationally produced brands, they also have side dishes. They have dishes with potatoes, with risotto, with rice. So, boom, I mean, 5 minutes in the microwave and you are done. So, I get it. Take advantage of this, guys. Then, lastly, I just mentioned rice. Minute rice or instant rice there's no crime in using that either. You know, they say 5 minutes, perfect rice every time. It's true. It's super easy. It usually comes in the regular white rice variety, or if you want something healthier, there's a brown rice variety. And you can doctor it up and make more of a side dish out of it. You know, it's more than just to go under another dish. It's more than just Chinese food, right? You can replace the water in equal amounts with broth, whether you use chicken broth or beef broth or vegetable broth, doesn't matter, just equal amounts, and that will bring a little more flavor to the party. And then when it's done, you can add some herbs, you can add your salt, pepper, chives, whatever. And if you have some leftover frozen vegetables sitting in the fridge, you can microwave those up for a minute just to warm them, toss them in, and you've got another side dish that looks like you spent some time on it, but you didn't. So guys, I hope you got some ideas out of these 2 videos. Please keep the ideas coming and try 1 or 2 of these and let me know how it goes. All right? So as I said, give one of these a try, and I know you've got this.